In this video, I'm going to use the going concern concept to explain, similarly to the previous videos, the key issues that we have to consider when we evaluate a distressed opportunity. The going concern concept originates from accounting and applies that the business entity will continue its operations into the future and will not liquidate or be forced to discontinue operations due to any reason. So the question for me, how I apply this is, I'm asking, do we have a business? In some cases, we can even say, do we still have a business when it is a distressed opportunity? So for the business to be a going concern, we have to look at it from the perspective of all the elements being there or not. So we have spoken about demand. Do you have demand? So if there's a demand that can be satisfied with this necessary capacity that you have built up, you can do it profitably, that is useful. Then if you generate the cash and you can create the liquidity to work the business, it is useful. There shouldn't be any caveats. Those are rectifiable caveats and fatal caveats. If you have a fatal caveat, that of course probably puts the business model in a negative position and you have no reasonable prospect. So the value model is important, that we must consider that. What is it that people are buying from you, which the demand must be created for? The stakeholders that may be involved. The management capacity is crucially important. We also have to consider the employees in this whole thing, as well as being able to operate on a solvent basis and not operate in the zone of insolvency. Finally, you have to add to that sustainability. That's to be predicting that the business will remain in business for at least a period of time. So that would then be a canvas, or somebody referred to it as a quilt occasionally, to be useful for us to see whether we have a business or not. So when a business is in distress, it looks slightly different, and I want you to make a comparison between the two canvases. Probably in a distressed venture, you will have less demand. Your appropriation capacity might be smaller, your profits might be thinner, the liquidity is not as you would like it to be, and there might be several caveats that might influence you. It's like something like oil price or outside of your control. Your value model might be thinner than you originally thought it is, that there is stakeholder support still, but the management capacity is weak. Employees are involved but not necessarily engaged, and there is sustainability, but it's not so sure that it will be sustainable in the long term. And finally, that suddenly businesses start to operate in the zone of insolvency. But what I want you to look at those two pictures is that in the right-hand side, the distressed venture opportunity, there are many gaps. The spaces are much bigger than in the going concern. Therefore, it is showing us that there is this level of distress, which we now address to see in the next slide. Just to say that when one walks into a distressed venture as an outsider, there are certain things that influence your judgment, and those are even worsening the gaps that exists in your judgment before you can make the judgment based on the canvas. And the first one is, for example, what we call poison chalice. What we know is that many directors will just want to pass the business to the business rescue practitioner to give their problem away. Okay, so they pass the buck. What we also see is that there is massive asymmetry of information. Those directors never tell you all the details. They don't give you all the information. And if you do not have ways and means to extract that, your judgment of the distressed venture opportunity will be severely influenced. Put on top of that the information that they give you, if they give you information, is often not trustworthy. It's often deliberately tainted. And even the data often that we get from the accountants are not trustworthy because they are in cahoots with the directors. The last one is about the acumen of the rescue practitioner, the business rescue practitioner's acumen. Those rescue practitioners that are good in their job, they have ways and means to overcome and fill up all these gaps in order to make a meaningful decision. So in the end, you have to have a canvas that's fairly filled up. You have to consider all those elements. And the final test of a distressed venture opportunity, in my mind, is often the willingness of an outside stakeholder to provide post-commencement finance to fix that business. And they will make a judgment based on related issues as we have discussed in this canvas. So in the next video, I'm going to give you a fire assessment, which is call it a quantitative questionnaire, which will plot where the business is, the type of distress that it is in, and what is associated with it.